It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it is me, Tortoise, here to make one more puzzle. Uh, well, I shouldn't say one more because I'll be streaming next week, but a here to make another puzzle for you while you watch. And let's see, what shall I do today? I want to do something low key, where by low key I mean I won't stress out too much over it. Uh, Let me check what I have posted recently. Let's see, this month I did Snowflakes, Super Sixes, Two Tone, Variety Cryptic, Hex Pathfinder, Spiral, Hex Words. The Pathfinder was November. Spell Weaving, Party. All right, let's do Wry Tangles, shall we? That's usually pretty straightforward for me. Do I even have a Wry Tangle? Yes, I do. Let's see, this is going to come out next month. So let me just make sure I've got the formatting in right. So in case you don't remember, or in case you are new to this, a Wry Tangles is a format where every word in the grid is entered in a straight line with one right angle in it. So you might go Wry. Oops. No, don't. And every letter will get used twice. And I have some formatting in here that will let me mark the beginnings of words, the endings of words. Oh, I still don't. Okay. We're going to delete this. We're going to go back to the template, and we're going to add in all of the conditional formatting to the template. All right. So I need to add oh, okay. So I have set it up so that I mark the first letter with an exclamation mark, and it will get highlighted in this. Oh, shoot. Shoot, I picked the same color for those. Oh, I need to do some more things anyway. I need to reorder these, so I need to pull this down to the bottom. Oh, I guess they are slightly... No, they aren't. Why am I... Oh, I need to move these ahead of that. Okay, good. So I mark the beginnings of words with an exclamation mark. I mark the ends of words with a comma. I put a dot in a word when it is checked. So if I do like Turniene, might go like that. So now that I've made the template, I can duplicate this. 2601. So, what am I going to put in the grid this time? So this is going to go out, let's see, 29th. This is going to go out on the 11th of January. It's the week of Mystery Hunt. Could do something about something relating to that. Let's maybe do... Let's throw a bunch of fancy letters in there. Do I do subtext or hypertext? Let's do hypertext. Maybe I'll have something that's like TRE or REP over here. Oops. Problem is that there are too many colors now that mean this is done. Light colors mean this is done. I've already fit in 2 crossing entries. They might or may not be at the beginning or end of words. Um, So maybe something that goes to the left through VAR. Oops. And I mark the first and last letters of each word so that when I am making the grid and I want to put in labels for where the entries start and occasionally end, I already have that information because searching through having to go through the whole grid to try to find all the beginnings and endings if I haven't done so already is really annoying. I see the EP and the Y and kind of want to put on epoxy, but I've already put down an X and a Z and some Y's and a V. I especially don't want to, have to deal with two X's so close together. Just sort of looking for how to. Maybe I don't want variety. I think I want to have a little bit more room for something like I don't know, treason or whatever, to stretch out like this, and it's going to get blocked by this T. Let's So I could do something ending in very, ovary. Um, I guess there's room for salivary. Or I could have something that goes. Maybe I do something like samovar. This gives me a lot of good vowel consonant alternation over here. Hmm. So maybe something like Tacoma over here to cover those, and then some cat word. I love cat words. I love cats. We got our beloved Freya a self-warming cat bed because she is old and her joints are sore. We thought maybe it would help. She seems indifferent to it so far. She'll she'll rest on it, but that's because we put it on her favorite part of her favorite couch. Um, but it seems like she is also happy to sleep on another part of the couch if she so feels. We don't know what's going to happen. So I think I'm going to put, oops, CATGOR. Category or categorical? And then I was going to put Roget's. Well, actually, Roget thesaurus. Okay, yeah, I can go with Roget's. I like Roget's better than Rogers because you can flip the ST around and have something starting ST. But we might also. Uh, eh. At the same time, if we have TS, we might want to have something like, well, let's put it in. I could be persuaded to change it to Rogers. So what I could see doing, so you could either have something that starts with ST, and then we have to have at least. The problem is like having blocked off both sides of making this three deep thing. And this will happen even if I don't put Roget's there. If I put anything that goes through here, that suppose I put in, I don't know, suppose I put in something like stream. Now I have to basically have something that will go like this, and then I have to have something that will take these two letters. So it's basically this. I have to work my way, sort of ladder my way up through this 2 by 3 space. And I could try to do it instead. Excuse me. Or maybe I have something like, how would this work and not cut things off? Well, I can use, I'm happy to use four-letter words in Wry Tangles, so I'm not necessarily stuck. But, maybe you do something like islands here, and then something that goes out like this. Let's try that. Uh, so there's cast out, which isn't going to give me the letters I want. Cash out has the same problem. Cesspit is does what I want, but not excited about that as an answer. So maybe it's not islands. I wonder if there's something that can go S R I. 7 letters long, S to I. Samurai, sashimi, Sharpay, stimuli, succubi, Swahili, syllabi. Syllabi might be nice because that will give us y out. Like this y here could be useful. So if we had syllabi, let's say, then it looks like we would have cabaret going here. Mm, no, array and Yera aren't words. So what were some of the other things I liked? I liked samurai. Hmm. I'm looking something for something where these 3 letters could fit with an A backwards or forwards. Like there's chaplet and craplet, but I don't like those. Uh, Sharpay. What do we have there? An H. No. Uh, stimuli. Could have call out and lout. It's not the best since they. Well, that's going to be the case for all of these because It's going, you know, blank T, and then I'm taking this part and going T, unless they're in the opposite order. So let's see. That would cola nut. I feel like the nut is usually spelled with a K. Doesn't mean it's not usable. Okay, so I don't think I like putting the T there for that reason of making words that are too similar. Similar. What else was there? Oops. There are no seven letters words whose pattern is S. Sashimi. I also have been assuming, I've been making some assumptions here that I shouldn't, but no. Hmm. And now it's going with an A. Comcast and Casa. Wait, is that what it's going against? Yeah. Comfort and Fora. But it could also be something that goes like this. Could have Dimmest and Mesa. Rim Salt and Alas. Sure, let's try that. It's a fairly, it's an interesting entry too. So, E S H I M M I, and then L A S. And now we can put some nice shiny word over here. And then we'd have to also put it, well, I guess we could have it going like that or something. There's also other ways that this could go. We could have something going through this ASS, right, because this S in Samovar is not yet checked. So we could have something that ends in AS, ends in AS. If we needed to, we could just have Saga there. But I think it makes the most sense for us to have something that... so this can't have things... This letter here can't have things going both that are the two words that go through it can't both go through it horizontally, and they can't both go through it vertically, because you'll run into problems where, like, you'll have some leftover. Some letters will have to be, if any horizontal word, for example, any word that passes horizontally through this blank square, let's call it X, is going to have to pass through this N. And so if there are two horizontals, then that N will be used twice. And the same thing with verticals. Uh, there's a slight exception. No, even then. Um, so you could have something where uh, this X is a change of direction in one way, but they can't go straight vertically through it, because you'd also use this R twice or three times. This is a roundabout way of saying that I'm pretty sure I want to put one thing going horizontally and one thing going vertically. Oops. This. No. H. Let's go with shanty. Like it's 2022. Is that the right year? Now that I see this ASAR, I'm going to live dangerously. I've already put in uh, an X and a Q. Also going to put in... Oops. So the QU, it's got to go something like this, um, unless we slap down another Q in a different direction. Like we could have toque, say. Um, but this YQ is not nice. So let's probably go for something like this. It will put us in a similar position to where I was before with putting Roget's in and blocking off part of it, but it only blocks off part of it. So let's try C. Oh no. U. Sequel or sequin? Hmm. Well, I could have something here like... Um, G A L L A N T. Now I'm running into a problem here of what is going to go through this E. I guess it could go out like this. And then you have a four-letter word like this. I mean, that really should be a P. What begins with EP? There's epe. Uh, could also be something like slope. All right, let's put oh, whoops, forgot to mark this as the end of a word. I guess I could have something like Giuseppe or step over here. Who are some famous Giuseppes? Probably some painters and I guess Giuseppe Verdi. I'm kind of embarrassed that I have a hard time keeping the first names of the Italian opera composers. Giuseppe Verdi. It's Gioacchino Rossini, uh, Girolamo Puccini. Arcimboldo is the painter of Vertumnus, the sort of portrait of I think it's a Holy Roman Emperor or something that is done as he has fruit for a face, like a whole assortment of fruits, not like Son of Man by Magritte, where a man has an apple for a face. Giuseppe Garibaldi. Did I? I'm not sure I ever learned Garibaldi's first name. Huh? Oh yeah, piano. Oh, people are not gonna know the first name of Guarneri. Yeah, I'm not sure I could have told you the Guarneri's first name either. Guarneri is one of the famous violin makers who once held the record for highest priced violin until it was broken by yet another Stradivarius. Um, I was annoyed once at a trivia thing where, um, like you get more points for answering the questions nobody else does, and it was like, what was the most, who was the manufacturer of the most expensive violin? And I'm like, I know this. It's it's not Stradivarius, it's Guarneri, but it changed. That is a lot of violins. Am I wrong about Guarneri being most expensive violins? Yeah, Guarneri is one of them. Ugh, I don't care that much. But I still feel like Giuseppe is definitely an Italian name that people will recognize. I'm just not sure that people will recognize it as any of these particular people. So I will go with the simpler and more reliable step. So then I do sorry, I had to ban a spammer. So Peru, we could do Perry instead. But if we have Peru, then we can have something that ends in up over here. Could either be a phrasal verb, gets up, or it could be ketchup in the old spelling. If we had ketchup, we would also have caddy going over here. But I wouldn't want two entries that begin in the same square to go in the same direction, especially not for three whole letters. Wondering about maybe push over and then myth over here. E-E-R. And then probably something coming around this corner that ends H-Y. Oops, not there. There. Y. T. H. U. S. H. O's H. Right. O-V-E-R. I was thinking of having uh, Zamboni going through here. But I'd be a little concerned. Hmm. So, what do we do with this y? I was saying that we do something coming around here through the hy. Could be something like trashy. Yeah, maybe trashy like this. Um, so what ends in VO? Bravo, Provo, Salvo, Volvo. All right, I'm going to have a few short entries clustered up in here, I think. R, V, O. Smut. And then user. Hey Freya, what you up to? Freya is wandering around my desk. She does that sometimes. She is blind, and it's not always clear whether she is wandering in a particular direction on purpose or if she's lost. Um, she knows her way around in general, but she's also she probably had a stroke, which is probably how she went blind, and so sometimes her like she has trouble walking in a straight line. Mm. So now I'm committing to having ZA. I could have something like topaz. I could see if there's something that can come around to this E. That's 7 letters. Zairese. I mean, it's a nationality that hasn't existed for over 30 years. I wonder if there is a. I mean, there's the Zaire River. I wonder if there's a Zaire people who live near the river. What if it instead turns this way and ends at the A or maybe even the L? Hmm. Let's see if I can make this work. A L C A T R A, oh, yeah, Z. Oh, so if I had something like A K K E R, no, regular R. If I then had salute, I really need something that will go through the K and the U. Kudu is, I believe, a kind of antelope. Kuru is a disease. Um, Cobble, kaput. Okay, yes, that can work. Let's do then K A nope, A P U T E L U T E. Then so it's probably easiest to just have this be P A T E. And then I could have something that ends in TER. I could have character. Character is not good because it will um, make this. So if I put in HAR, now then the question is, how do you fill in this? You can't put in something like arch because then that's only used once and then it can't go in either direction. So one way it has to go up. The other way it has to go down. I guess we could have echt. I don't know how well known that is a Yiddish word that means sort of genuine or good. Don't know how well known that is. And then we could have ease or easel. But if we do those, then this R gets isolated. So let's try. I guess this could be Casio. And then something with an O, but I don't know what that's going to be. It's really going to have to go all the way out to this. Yeah, we're going to run out of space for up downs, for vertical, to use the technical term. All right, so I think we don't do Twitter, but maybe we do something else. This has to be a vowel to go TTER, which is still my plan. And if I am going to go like this, it could be cacao, or it could be Casio. Oh, no. Cameo, canoe. So let's just say we had cameo there. Then we'd have something like letter. So we'd have to be careful here because I want... So I'm going to want something that goes like this. This will have been checked. This will be checked. Then something else that comes around. Uh, so what did I have? I had Cacao, Cameo, Canoe, Casio. Then this is something like L. So what I want is I want a word that can go like this, and either direction. This letter here is something that would go with before iter in this particular case. Um, this should be a vowel or possibly a consonant that can follow S. Then this is whatever. To have something like prior. Ritter, John Ritter, is he the actor in Three's Company? Yes. Canoe. So something that goes before. So this could be a P or R, T, H. Hmm. So maybe we go for pot. So A N O E P O T T E R. Then O U P P E R. I might have made a mistake in checking this R. So maybe it's trashy. What if I what if I went back to test cacao? Um, I guess technically we have R. No, R. Let me try scatter. Actor. No, I think we need to leave this R blank. So that means we need a where did this R come from? What word is this R already in? Oh, I also never checked that E, did I? Oh no, I must have, because it's the beginning of something. Oh. Alright, I'm going to need to reconstruct this. So let's just do this. Right. X T no T R A V A G A N Z A. Oh, it was part of Alcatraz. Okay. But what about this E? Did I make that up? It's in Slacker and Salute. Okay, great. It's also true that this does not need to be trashy. It does need to be HY. We could have something like fleshy. Oops. Isn't fleshy a thing? Okay, so a pagan Slavic god. It's probably been co-opted in some role-playing game to be a more generic thing, is what I think I have in my mind. So we want something that goes like that. I'm actually going to put in try apathy. Oh, this is checked. Just to get more consonant vowel harmony. Also, we haven't yet. What does this E come from? Pate. Okay. So let me just make sure if I did scatter an actor. So maybe it is better to go to canoe. No, just comma, not. Let's try. So how would it go from here out? Something like that. Okay, maybe not apathy because that really well, if we did tapas here, then we really need to get All right, so if we had Tapa, how many letters do we need at this point? We need three doubled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 single. 9 single? Yes, 9 single. Let's try a different arrangement. Let's go back to fleshy. We're going to change Potter to otter. Gonna get, oh, think getting something out of that. And then we can put in, oops, O, F, F, E, R. Okay. So we could then have something like serif. But I don't think we want serif. I think we actually want something that goes this direction. Oh no, we're gonna have an unchecked letter. Oh, okay, I see how we make that work. We have something like, all right, we, uh, okay, we have something that's either like serif or goes down here. Then we have something that goes here through the NO. All right, let's see if this works. Serif O V I C E C I V I L. All right. Now let's hide these. Just a little bit. So extravaganza. Categorical. Tacoma. Which way did this go? Sashimi. Pushover. Plan. Gallant. Alas. Sequel. Quasar. Samovar. Shanty. Peru. Roget's. Step. Smut. Myth. I have a lot of four-letter words. This is going to be a I don't have that many long words in here. Oh, this is actually that. Rimsalt. Hypertext. What was the servo? Kaput. Serif. Fleshy. Otter. Pate. Civil. Offer. Novice. Canoe. Alcatraz. And oh gosh, slacker and salute. That is a high word count. What did I do the last? How many did I have the last time? 32? 32. 32. 34 is a lot. I'd like to get that down to 33 if I can. Where could I have saved on this? So where do I think I could save a word in a corner by redoing that corner? Corner is used kind of metaphorically here to any spot where I was really dealing with a lot of geometrical constraints. So there was over here, but I really only had, alas was really the only thing in this area that was short. So I could do something where, like, when I put quasar here, well, there's a few things that could have happened. I could have put something else here instead of shanty. I could have maybe put shindig. Um, and I could have potentially put something else through here that doesn't create as many. Maybe something where I don't plant this Q, even though quasar and sequel are both 6 letters. Maybe I could, there's not a lot of other things that I could put in those areas. I guess I could put something like liquid here. Um, I wonder if there's anything that is E dot dot Q U dot dot. E liquid evokes. No. All right, let's maybe duplicate this. Take out some of this right hand side. So we'll maybe keep smut in here. But then okay. So use just like that. We'll take out, what is this S in? It's in servo and user. We'll take it out, take it out, take it out. That is just um, oops. Let's take out everything to everything to the left of here, where we have Alcatraz. But, so take all of that out. Now I was wondering if maybe instead of having myth, I have monomyth. Which does make this checked. Smut. Maybe I change push over to something else. So that I don't have to worry about that V causing problems. Pusheen, pushkin, pushpin, pushback, pushcart, push down, push pole. Huh. C-A-N-O-N. I guess maybe would want it to be capos, so now I can have user going this way. I guess I have canoe. Now we have this MN, which would basically I mean, we could have autumn or solemn coming around here. D, A, M, N. Just everything's so. No. Okay. Could also be something like pushing. Are there other things that end in ith? Blythe, Smythe, Forsyth, folk myth, monomyth. Other myths are too long. So I'm thinking if I do push cart, I can then have racy. Uh, so annoying. So again, if I were to put in character over there, I now have this problem of what do I do in this corner? Because I can't do something going. Yeah, if character were one letter longer, then that would work. But it's not. And so we could just have something simple like user here and canoe. have something coming around like that. All right. C A N O E S U S E R. So then something that ends in otter. Although otter might still be the best. Hmm. Have I actually made progress yet? Doesn't feel like it. Maybe I'll pull something out. Maybe I should just go with canoe. Now, this could also be a B if I wanted to have Uber. It's also possible that this is Tracy and not racy. It would make things a little bit weird, but if this were checked, then I might have something like haunt coming out like that, then auntie, then something like alien. So I have this checked. Maybe Damien. I still have the problem where it's hard to get these letters checked. Maybe it's not like Damien. Maybe it's. Maybe it's something like spotter. E. Okay, so maybe it's not Hontanati. Alright, now I'm gonna x, 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 y, x, y, x, y. Possibly go all the way to this n. If I do get to the end, that's actually quite good. We still may want to have something like plotter. Ah, this letter, this one right here. How many ways can we get to this y? We can go like this. We can go like that. We can go like that. We can go like that. How many ways are there that don't involve going through this L? That's it. We need that, and we need that. Okay. So first up is I need A equals 4 A dot dot n. Because I want to take out that n. Hands and so on. Heart, earthen. I realize that Iverson is probably in here because of Allen Iverson, but my mind goes to Ethan Iverson, a jazz pianist who was one of the founding members of the trio The Bad Plus, who had a lot of they made a lot of waves for doing jazz covers of popular songs, especially a lot of rock. Like their first one was Smells Like Teen Spirit. And like it's how do I put this? If you are open-minded, it's good, but if you're like jazz has to be a certain way, rock has to be a certain way, you'll hate it. So what if I try hand and then A and D S O O N. Now I have to have something that goes like here. And something that goes like here. All right, here's my solution. And I don't know if this is actually going to save me any. Okay. And I could have potentially done this, like if I had had a 6-letter word here, then instead of aces, I could have had paces. Like I don't think lauder is a word, but like I could have come up with something. But this, let's see if this is a savings for us. Push cart, gallant, alas, sequel, quasar, samovar, shanty, Peru, Roget's, step, smut, myth, user, still user, but in a different direction. Rim salt, hypertext, hands, jello, kaput, and so on. Aces, Tracy, Pate, Opal, Canoe, Alcatraz, Slacker. So the question is, what is the total? 193. I'm missing a word, so it didn't help. What word am I missing? Oh, that's a good question. Was I missing anything here? Total 200. All right. So at least I hadn't left anything out. What word am I forgetting from here? Oh, plotter. So plotter will go for Pete. Um, yeah, we don't. All right. Take. It's 11 o'clock. I'll try one more take. If it doesn't pan out, then I'll. Let's maybe. have this thing in my head. So we have this thing in my household where sometimes when somebody um, is like trying to persuade or dissuade someone, like if someone is trying to dissuade me from something, they might say, "Tortoise, no." Um, to which I might respond, "Tortoise, yes," if I think it's worth doing. And so now I'm sort of trying to play that game to see if like having if I changed shanty to shindig, you know, and made other changes, I'd make a lot of changes. Okay, well let's stick with this level of changing. We'll say that we still have shanty and quasar and all that. Um, we do have step, but not smut. We'll keep in hypercart and trace or hypertext, pushcart and Tracy. Um, so we're still at T E R. No, R. What if I just get out there, combine some of my different attempts? So what I was thinking is that I instead of going this four-letter smut, that I do something like this. I suppose I could have isms if I needed to. I'd rather not. But I could have something like uh nope. R M S and then something here like sire or Siri or Iris or uh I could try putting plotter here. this is that. First of all, let's. Oh, blotter is also possible. Maybe slaughter. Um, re-aim or re-air. I don't want to have an awkward re-word here. Oh. Okay, if I take. All right, let's see if this helps. If I take re. Re. A. I. M. And then MRIs. And then. What is. That's. I meant to put a. Hitman. Wasn't there a movie? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Excellent. P. M. A. N. Now I just need to overlap these. So A equals 4. HAM twiddle A. And we can switch around. Hyphen mafia, I suppose. What is hypha is? Yeah. Sure. H A I F A M A F I A. I think this might get it down to 33. is my guess. Extravaganza. Categorical. Sashimi. Pushcart. Plan. Gallant. Lass. Sequel. Quasar. Oh, the thing that where I was going tortoise, where I was going the oh no, tortoise no, was replacing Quasar. So instead of having Shanty, having Shindig here, and then replacing Quasar with Aya Nasir, because I would have an I here. The ancient Mesopotamian, who we know because he sold shitty copper to repeatedly to various merchants. Quasar, that's just that. But I don't know how well the average person who is not like perpetually looking at, uh, ancient history memes knows about good old Anasir. So far, I have the same things I did before. Now it's starting to get different. Hypertext and Haifa. Um, MRIs. Kaput. Ipman. Re-aim. Tracy. Plotter. Pate. Mafia. Alarms. Canoeist. Alcatraz. Salute and Slacker. 32. I must be missing something. I'm missing a four-letter word. What four-letter word am I missing? Did I put in MRIs? I did. Oh, I still have myth in here. So step. No, don't cut it, just copy it. Myth. So we are down to 33 now. I might let it go at this, but I usually get it to 32. Let's see. So 2025 June, 32, 31, 30, 31, 32, 31. So yeah, most of these have been 31 or 32. So 33 is, well, I'll see if I can take this and maybe do a little bit more, take this as my new draft and see what would I do. It would probably be something uh doing something instead of shanty here, doing something like shindig or shining. Um, but I think that will be it for now. So I'm going to call it at 11:14. Maybe I will get to head over and check out my friend um, Aaron as he does his cryptic stream. Uh, but I will be on next week between Christmas and New Year's. And in between then, I will be making a whole lot of cookies. I've already made 198 cookies in the last week and have plans to make at least 150 more, I think. Well, at least 100 more. So that will be exciting. Well, I have concrete plans to make another no, 52. And then, well, I have dough in the fridge to make another 52 cookies, and then I'm going to make at least two other batches of cookies, but I need to get more butter before I can do that. These are all going out to friends. I am not going to try to eat 200 cookies. I'm definitely not going to let my housemate eat 200 cookies um, because it would make him sick. And we um, and it would anger the bunny. We have a little, whenever we make cookies, Zilla puts a little um, post it on top of them with an angry bunny saying no more than 3 per 24 hours to dissuade some of us from going ham on cookies or going all Cookie Monster on cookies. Anyway, have a good week. If you were celebrating Hanukkah, I hope you had a festive Hanukkah. I know there are some really bad things that went on in this world. There was the shooting in Australia, which is just awful. But I hope you were able to find some things to celebrate yourself. And if you are celebrating Christmas, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate none of those, Happy Solstice and New Year's coming up. Good night, everyone.